In this lesson, we are going to learn how to solve a system of equations where one is linear and the other one is quadratic using the comparison method. We are going to use this exam question here as an example, and it says, solve the following system of simultaneous equations showing the full working. And you are given y minus x is equals to 4, then the second equation is y is equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8. So the first one is linear because the highest power in the first equation is just 1, and an equation with the highest power s1 is a linear equation. Then in the second equation, it is quadratic because the highest power is 2, and an equation with the highest power s2 is quadratic. The first step in solving this system of equations is just to label them as 1 for the first equation, which is linear, and 2 for the second equation, which is quadratic. Then from there, I need to make y the subject of the equations on each of them. So in the first one, we have y minus x is equals to 4. So to make y the subject of this equation, I can just move this negative x to the right side of the equal sign. And because it was negative to the right side of the equal sign, it will be positive. So now it becomes y is equals to 4 plus x. Then in the second equation, we have y is equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8, meaning it is already y starts the equation, so of course it is the subject of the equation. So now you see we have the two equations as y is equals to 4 plus x, and then the second one is y is equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8, meaning the fact that the y's start in both equations, then those y's are equal. And if they are equal, then it means their expressions are also equal. So x squared plus 2x minus 8 should be equal to 4 plus x. So I can write those two equations like this, where the first y, which is 4 plus x, is equal to the expression of the quadratic equation, which is x squared plus 2x minus 8. And this is what we call the comparison method. Then from there, now it becomes simple to simplify because I first of all just need to collect the like terms together. So to do so, I just need to move the constants on the left side of the equal sign. So it becomes 4. I move this 8 to this side. And because 8 was negative on this side, it will be positive. So it becomes 4 plus 8. Then from there is equals to x squared, then plus these two x, and then I move this x to the right side of the equal sign so that I can collect all the like terms together. So this x here, it was positive. On the other side of the equal sign, it will be negative. So now it becomes 2x minus x. Then from there, I just do the normal addition. 4 plus 8, which is 12, then x squared, then 2x minus x, which is x. And now from there, I need to force this equation to be a quadratic equation. So to do so, I need to equate it to 0. So I'll move this 12 to this side, and it becomes, you see here it was positive, so on this other side it will be negative, so it becomes x squared plus x minus 12 is equals to 0. From there, I need to solve this quadratic equation using factorization. And how factorization works is that I need to look for two numbers such that when I add them, I'll get the coefficient of x, which is 1 of course, and when I multiply them, I'll get the product of the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, multiplied by negative 12. So the sum of those two numbers should be 1, and their product should be negative 12. So which are those two numbers? If you come to think of it, you realize that if I take negative 3 and 4, then I take negative 3 plus 4 is 1, which is our sum. Then negative 3 multiplied by 4 is negative 12, which is our product. So the two numbers are negative 3 and 4. And now that I have the two numbers, the next step is to write this x in terms of these two numbers. And how I do that is I just need to set x is equals to negative 3x plus 4x, because if you take negative 3x plus 4x, in fact 3 and 4 are our numbers here. I just multiplied them with x so that I can write this x in terms of those two numbers we have. So now negative 3x plus 4x is just x. So from our equation here, instead of writing x, now I'll replace it with negative 3x plus 4x. So now it becomes x squared, and instead of putting this x here as it was here, I'll now replace it with minus 3x plus 4x, this one. Then minus 12, our original 12 in the equation. And now from there, I can just group them into two parts, where now I have x squared minus 3x, this one and this one, then plus this plus 4x minus 12, this 4x minus this 12. And then from there, do you realize on this first part here, x is common, because if I take x outside, and then in brackets I remain with x minus 3, it means if I take x multiplied by x, it will be x squared. Then minus, if I take x multiplied by 3, it will be 3x. So in the second one, this plus of course is this one. Then in this one, 4 is common, because if I take 4 multiplied by x, it will be 4x. Then if I take 4 multiplied by negative 3, it will be negative 12. So if 4 is common, I take it outside the brackets. So one thing you note here is that we have x minus 3 and x minus 3 repeated in both parts, but we don't need to repeat it. We only need to use it once. So now I'll take x plus 4 as our first part here, and then I just pick 1 x minus 3 here. Now it becomes x minus 3, and then in the other brackets, x plus 4 is equals to 0. Don't forget our original 0. And from there, I need to say x minus 3 is equals to 0, and also x plus 4 is equals to 0. So in both these expressions, we equate them to 0. So in the first one, x minus 3 is 0, or x plus 4 is 0. So it means then, if I move 3 to the other side of the equal sign, it will be will be 3 equal to 3, because here it was negative. Then if I move 4 to the other side of the equal sign, it will be negative 4, because here it was positive. So we have the two answers for x, which is 3 or negative 4. But you also need the answers for y, because we don't have x alone. And we said y is equals to 4 plus x. So since we know y is equals to 4 plus x, we can now come here and say when x is 3, then y will be equal to 4 plus the value of x, which is 3. Now it will be 7. So the final values for x and y will be 3 and 7. Then in the second instance, when x is negative 4, we already know y is equals to 4 plus x. So if x is negative 4, then y will be 4 plus negative 4 for x, which now would be equal to 4. Positive multiplied by negative is negative, so it will be 4 minus 4, which is 0. So when x is negative 4, y will be equal to 0. And now we have our original solutions for two solutions for x and y. When x is 3, y 7, and then when x is negative 4, y is 0. So that's how we use the comparison method to solve a system of equations where one is linear and the other one is quadratic. And that's where we end this lesson. If you have any question there, or there is a place you did not understand, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll try my level best to answer. And let us meet in the next lesson, where we are going to explore a different concept in mathematics.